People often ask me, why do I work with the spirits of business when I come from a kind of a geomantic and earth energy healing background? Well, that's a really interesting one, because while I was an earth energy worker and geomancer as a side hustle, I was also a project manager in my professional career. And what I found was that when I was out working with earth energy and geomancer, I was very familiar with working with the spirit of place, to working particularly with agricultural and horticultural properties to balance earth energy so that the farms were more productive, they got a better yield, they used less water, they didn't have to use as many agrochemicals, so that we could get this balance right, so that the yields and production was high and the negative impact of agriculture was down. But while I was working in that way, I found that actually I was working with another consciousness as well. And that turned out to be the consciousness of the enterprise itself. So there's a spirit of place, and that holds the energetic blueprint for the physical landscape, if you like, much as the way our aura holds our energetic blueprint for our physical expression of ourselves. So the spirit of place holds the energetic blueprint for that landscape, that particular area. And then what I realized was that there was this other entity, this other consciousness, and that was the spirit of the business itself. So the spirit of the business held the energetic blueprint for the perfect unfolding of that enterprise, for it to be financial, for it to be productive, for it to be supportive of its owners, the people who lived it, for it to create a supportive world for the people who entered that business as customers or team or whoever it was. So when we set up a business, we have this idea for the business and we envisage it being successful. So that's the energy blueprint that the spirit of the enterprise actually holds. It wants it to be successful. It wants it to be financially supportive for you. It wants it to be a place of welcome and belonging for your clients and the people who come into this world. That's its whole reason for being. So when we can work with that conscious spirit, we're able to attune to that energy blueprint and take aligned action so that we bring into manifest form in 3D reality, through the systems and structures and forms that we use to create the business, so that it holds the essence of what it wants to be. And when we work in that way, businesses can be incredibly successful because they come from our heart and soul. So that's true of any business. It doesn't have to be a physical business. That's true of your online business. That's true of, in fact, any creation that you want to make. And this is why I think if I hadn't been a geomancer, if I hadn't worked with the spirit of place, I never would have realized, probably for a lot longer, that there was in fact a spirit of businesses. And that's why it's a natural progression for me. It goes from, looking at the energy in our home to say, is it supportive, to look at energies in the wider landscape, and how we can plug into that, and then how we could utilize that in the creation of stuff that fulfills our needs, so food and all those kind of things. And then also how the spirits of those enterprises plug into that natural etheric energy, so that we are creating all that we can to supply and fulfill our human needs, but we're doing so with respect and in synchronicity with what nature is actually trying to achieve. And that is even your online business, because we want to create businesses that don't see people as commodities, that we want to give value to the world. We want to do business consciously, so we're making a lasting impact for the betterment of everybody and all beings with which we share this planet.